It's an exciting time. It seems like a Dragon is back into full consciousness thanks to Infinite Wealth and Gaiden. With that, I also would like to get back into business somewhat. I do have to admit I got myself back into a vicious cycle recently, and now with the release of these games, I want to break free. See, I took a bit of a break between my last video and the Platinum Guide for Yakuza 5. Now, I saw the gap as reasonable given the holidays, but mainly given the scope of the guides that dwarf the scope of any of my other videos. However, this locked me into a sort of false way of thinking that equivocated an arbitrary length of time off with an equally arbitrary increase in quality for the videos. You could see how that would fail me. It wouldn't allow me to just take time off without having to increase the quality of my next theoretical video, which then would require more effort that would require more time that I would not have because I took that time off. I think this hit me most when Ishin Kiwami released. I hadn't fully made any videos prior to release, but post the release of my Yakuza 5 guide, so naturally I thought that any video relating to it would have to be of a higher standard than usual. The trouble was trying to balance work, the early stages of my Yakuza 0 guide, and Ishin, all while finishing up Elden Ring and having Jedi Survivor approaching, meant that I wouldn't be able to finish the game, and therefore my idea of a complete review wasn't feasible. This caused me to fall into the fallacy again, as every day thinking of what to replace the video with was another day it wasn't being worked on, and thus the scope had artificially increased in my head until this imagined dream video was fully out of reach and scrapped. It's silly now to think about it. I don't ever want to schedule to artificially delay me in making videos again, so I'm just going to do my own thing at my own pace without worrying about any analytics. Working on another channel and time passing really has taught me how to not care about anything other than making the videos that I'm passionate about. In fact, I'm still playing Ishin to this day and I love it. It super reminds me of that 2014 Kiwami Zero design. Something about the progression, minigame design, and grinding activities activates a neuron in my brain that absolutely has me investing thousands of hours into these games. It's a part of the reason Kiwami is my favorite in the franchise, along with it being the first game in the series I first truly completed. Right now, I'm grinding just before what I think is the finale. You know, if you play these games for a while, you can sort of get the vibe of when these games are coming to a close. I'm also not using the guide, so it's been super fun discovering if all tricks work in some systems and discovering unique ways to click with the game. I've seen very little action covering the game outside of its first initial launch week. In fact, what I've mostly seen since then are people acknowledging the lack of fanfare around the game, especially contrasted with the recent energy thanks to Infinite Wealth and Gaiden. On my end, it was just that I was stuck in my logical fallacy cycle, and as testament to that, I'm still playing the game now. Ironically enough, because I knew I couldn't produce a big enough video, I allowed myself to fully platinum Elden Ring a few weeks after Ishin's release, and then recently I spent 2 or so weeks in April and May finishing as much as Jedi Survivor as I could. There's a bug preventing me from pulling 100% in it. I'm sure I'll be finished with Ishin soon, and I can honestly say I've enjoyed every moment with it, even though it has the same gambling minigame AI as in Zero, and that's hard as anything else. As to why it hasn't received much fanfare, I have a main theory. I do recognize all the other issues expressed out there, especially relating to if you have experienced Ishin before the release, so I can only talk to those who have come in with no solid expectations relating to the previous game. My main theory is that the game emulates the original 2014 game pretty well. In fact, it feels like a 2014 Yakuza game, or at the very least a remaster of a 2014 RPG game. That feeling going up against the experiences of gaming in 2023 most players would have does not bode well for comparison. And while I'm sure most were able to rationalize the difference in quality given the remake nature of this game, for most, it did not stand up to the other gaming experiences even within the same series, like compared to Last Judgment for example. I think when we're past Gaiden and Infinite Wealth and Ishin is no longer the latest release, people will conceptualize it alongside Zero and Kiwami and judge it more fairly and holistically. However, the narrative of no one discussed this a week after it came out could stick with people, and that could hinder retrospection, so it's not guaranteed people will look back with too much kindness on Ishin for the future. Well, I suppose that's my little Ishin video, which I am very much still enjoying at this moment, as well as my video on how I would like just to get back into making these videos on this silly little franchise I'm so invested in. It's fun, and the slight obsession with numbers, or more accurately, the performance from my side I thought those numbers represented, shouldn't get in my way. As long as it's fun to discuss these topics, I will be making videos, instead of just rambling to anyone IRL that would listen. I hope you will look forward to more videos, and if you like videos covering the Like a Dragon series, I couldn't recommend Gokudani's videos enough. I thoroughly enjoy all their videos, and they've blown up in the community recently, so they're definitely a community favorite. Enjoy your time over there and with the series in general. This is a wonderful community to be a part of, and the future only looks brighter.